Do you know that in life, when pressure and difficulties crash down, shattering your self-confidence, body language itself is the very source of strength. It will help you overcome life's toughest challenges. This wisdom comes from a remarkable book by Amy Cuddy, which teaches that your body dictates who you are. In essence, body language profoundly influences our brain and psychological state. For too long, many of us have paid little attention to consciously practicing and altering our body postures or facial expressions, simply letting them unfold naturally out of habit. But you must understand that even a small change can lead to profound transformations in your life. Amy Cuddy's own story powerfully illustrates the immense importance of practicing high-power poses. When Amy was a sophomore in college, she was unfortunately involved in a car accident during a trip, resulting in a traumatic brain injury and diffuse axonal injury. This devastating injury caused her IQ to drop by 30 points. From that moment on, she became, as she describes it, stupid. How foolish? So utterly foolish that her friends gradually distanced themselves, leaving her in utter despair. It took her an additional 4 years just to earn her undergraduate degree. This was an incredibly challenging ordeal in her life. Yet today, that very girl has become a social psychologist and a professor at Harvard University. Her TED Talk, titled "Your Body Language May Shape Who You Are," has garnered nearly 50 million views and has helped countless individuals transform their lives. Amy Cuddy has dedicated immense passion to researching the impact of body language on human psychology. Her work has been featured in Time magazine and CNN. Time magazine dubbed her a game changer, placing her on its list of the top 50 women who are changing the world in the context of globalization, and she is also recognized as one of the World Economic Forum's young global leaders. Her spectacular rise is precisely thanks to gradually, steadily changing her physical behavior. Have you ever faced immense pressure from important speeches, job interviews, presentations, exams, or crucial negotiations, only to make mistakes that leave you filled with regret and disappointment because you couldn't perform at your best? And then, after the event, once you've calmed down, you suddenly think of a better approach. You might exclaim, "Oh my goodness, I should have done it this asterisk way." This is your true thought, but why couldn't you think of it at that moment? You might vaguely assume it's because you were too nervous, lacked courage, had insufficient experience, or doubted your own abilities. But the truth is, you haven't truly unleashed your inherent power, the power of presence. This power of presence is an ability that allows you to withstand immense pressure, even when you feel helpless, without succumbing to worry, fear, regret, or self-doubt. At the same time, it enables you to express your true thoughts and feelings and showcase your real potential. When a person's inner strength is great enough, this inherent power emerges. It helps us wisely observe, discover, and truly understand our thoughts and feelings within our own minds. This strength radiates from within, from your psychology to your very body language. So, how can we acquire this strength? When facing pressure, we often build mental barriers for ourselves. Firstly, we often don't truly know who we are. People always say, "Be yourself," but perhaps many haven't fully grasped the profound meaning of this statement. The truth is, within each of us exist two selves, our authentic self and our public self. The public self is how others perceive you. Are you a friendly, highly capable, high-earning team leader in everyone's eyes? Or are you a good child, an excellent student, ranked top in your class in the eyes of your parents, teachers, or friends? When you perceive yourself through the lens of your public self, it means you've imposed a label on yourself. I must be this way. I must be that way. At this point, your mind is utterly crushed by pressure, and you cannot express your true self. The book offers much evidence showing that only when you express your true self can you discover your inherent power. Your authentic self is the one that knows your values, what you want to contribute to society, what your beliefs in life are, what your greatest aspirations are. Only when your mindset returns to your true inner self will your cortisol levels, the stress hormone in your body, decrease. Only then can you take control of the situation and truly be yourself. Secondly, we too easily think we are the center of the universe. Psychologists like Thomas Gilovich and his colleagues conducted a study where they asked some students to wear a ridiculously quirky, unusual t-shirt and enter a classroom. Afterward, they asked these students how many people in the room paid attention to them. Most of the students estimated that more than half the people in the room noticed them. However, the actual result was that only about a quarter of them paid attention to their shirts. From this study, psychologists coined a psychological phenomenon called the spotlight effect. Many of us suffer from this effect, especially when we face pressure or embark on a challenge. We tend to see ourselves as the center of the stage, with all the spotlights on us, believing others are intensely interested in and thinking about us. But in reality, each of us is merely a grain of sand in this vast world, and it's not as dramatic as we think. Perhaps people notice you, but only for a few minutes before you drift out of their thoughts. Overly concerning ourselves with what others think of us only adds unnecessary pressure. The third barrier is that we haven't distinguished between success first, then confidence, and confidence first, then success. Most of us are not yet successful in our chosen fields. Therefore, we often perform poorly or lack confidence during job interviews. Because we haven't been hired yet, we tend to be nervous, afraid, stammering when speaking. This is a manifestation of a lack of confidence, but you must know that to succeed, you must first be confident. The author famously said, "Fake it till you make it." Even if you don't succeed with your external social self, your true self can still succeed. You can choose to present yourself as a successful person. When you are confident and courageous, your body will, subtly yet inevitably, adopt the posture of a successful person, a high-power pose. This boosts the levels of testosterone, the dominance hormone, in our bodies. This hormone stimulates the brain, influences your thinking, gradually helps you access your inherent power, and moves you towards a winning state. Simply put, if you want to succeed, pretend to be successful. Let your body adopt the poses of a successful person. So, what exactly are the poses of a successful person? Firstly, high-power poses. Try closing your eyes and imagining a scene. I got into college, I received this offer. What would your posture be like in such moments? That's right. Everyone around the world, regardless of nation, shares a common winning posture, raising both arms high. This is a posture that psychologists confirm is an innate pride pose. That's why even visually impaired athletes in the Paralympics use this body language to celebrate victory, even without ever having seen the celebration gesture before. Conversely, when we lose or fail, we often cover our faces and curl up. When joyful and confident, our feet dance like soaring birds, our arms wide, brimming with joy. But when sad or bewildered, we tend to huddle in a corner. Looking at these two groups of postures, you can easily identify which ones bring positive energy. Indeed, postures that expand your body and allow you to stretch out bring high energy. Therefore, if you want to overcome any pressure, try raising your arms. Let your body relax, pretending you are a winner. This posture can instantly change your body's physiology, increasing testosterone levels, helping us control our minds, activate our inherent power, and move towards success. If you're in a confined environment, find a less crowded space or a restroom to expand your posture. Alternatively, use your mind to imagine your body in the most powerful, expansive pose of a winner. Or, arrive at the place where you'll face the challenge earlier, walk confidently, use high-power poses, and auto-suggest to yourself that this is your territory, where you have already won. Secondly, constantly pay attention to your posture. It's crucial not to reserve high-power poses only for stressful situations. Strive to avoid low-power, habitual, unconscious postures in daily life. Slouching at the computer, curling up, resting your chin on your hand while hunched over files, or constantly staring down at your phone. Always remind yourself that these are low-energy postures. They will gradually weaken your mindset and dull your thinking. Try to incorporate high-power poses into your daily life. For instance, put your hands on your hips while brushing your teeth, stretch your arms and legs when you wake up, move your mouse further away to extend your body. Always keep your chest out, back straight, and head up when looking at your phone. And if you stare too long, ask your family and friends to remind you. And one thing I find the book highlights that we truly need to pay attention to is how society often believes that closed, modest postures are suitable for women. When young, girls will raise their hands and spread their legs just like boys. But gradually, as they grow, boys continue to develop these expansive postures without any restrictions, while girls begin to shrink themselves. Even young children in studies have, very early on, formed the perception that an expansive posture is masculine. They believe a gender-neutral doll with a high-power pose is a boy doll, while one with a curled-up, closed-off pose is a girl doll. Therefore, the author urges us that when we see our daughters, sisters, or female friends in closed-off postures, we should remind them to adopt open, confident, expansive poses to challenge the deeply ingrained gender inequality in our society. Finally, beyond high-power poses, facial expressions are also highly important. Psychologist James Laird conducted an experiment to see how facial expressions affect psychology and thinking. Participants in this experiment were forced to frown even when they weren't angry. Eventually, all of them couldn't help but think of annoying things and started to get angry. Other researchers conducted a study where a group of participants held a pencil between their teeth, forcing their facial muscles into a smile, and watched a cartoon. These individuals found the cartoon funnier than those who didn't hold a pencil. Therefore, always smile and avoid frowning. Our expressions, consciously or unconsciously, bring us either low or high energy. As our ancestors often said, a smile is worth 10 doses of medicine. A smile not only improves health, but also brings a joyful expression to your face. If formed as a habit, it will gradually lead to great things in your life. Despite the book's deep theoretical basis and complex research, the author strives to help us grasp a simple truth. If you want to succeed, pretend you've already succeeded until you do. Always smile, spread your arms wide, stretch comfortably, lift your head, puff out your chest, straighten your back, and walk confidently like a successful person. I wish you success, starting right from your own body.